Getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind Your Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind Your Basketball. And what's good, everyone? Happy Friday. Here we go, the second day of the round of 64 for the NCAA tournament. To kick things off this afternoon, we have the number 7 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, taking on the number 10 seed, the Santa Clara Broncos. If you're doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe for tremendous NCAA tournament coverage throughout the brackets. Kentucky, with a record of 21-13 overall, they're 10-8 in the SEC. They were tied for 7th in the conference alongside Georgia and Mizzou this season. Just 4-6 in their previous 10 games for a Big Blue, but they went into the SEC tournament. They went 2-1 in their conference tournaments, and they had wins over LSU and Mizzou before falling to Florida in their third game of their conference tournament. Last year, they made a run to the Sweet 16, lost to Tennessee a year ago in year one under head coach Mark Pope, looking to make another deep run once again this season for Big Blue Nation. On the other side, Santa Clara, receiving an at-large bid, went to the WCC Tournament Championship game, lost to Gonzaga. They are 13-3 in their previous 16 games, a 26-8 overall record, 15-3 in a WCC. Third place team in the conference behind the Zags and St. Mary's this season. And it's the first time they've been to the tournament since 1996. That was with Steve Nash for Santa Clara back in 96. So it's been 30 years in the making for Santa Clara to get back into the bracket, led by head coach Herb Sendek in his 10th season. 7-8 all-time NCAA tournament games took Miami, Ohio to the bracket back in 1995, and then he had 5 straight years, 2002 through 2006, where he took NC State to the tournament, and then last 2 times he went with Arizona State in 2009 and 2014. If you're doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit us up in the chat. Who you guys like to win this one? Type it in. Kentucky, Santa Clara. Make sure to vote in the poll as well. Man, what phenomenal tournament games we have had so far in the brackets. I'll get you guys caught up in the late night action in case you missed it from last night. This is what happened in a late night window for action. How about SLU? St. Louis put it at 102 as they throttled Georgia 102-77. St. Louis, they look fresh, they look fast, and pounded Georgia yesterday. Second straight exit in a blowout as the 8 seed, or in that 8-9 first round matchup for the Georgia Bulldogs under head coach Mike White. Other games that went on in the late night window, Illinois, absolutely elite offense for them. They put up 105 and a dominant second half in a win over Penn, 105-70. Illinois cashed in on 65 total points in half number 2 in the victory. Gonzaga, they were in a tight one. Physical battle against Kennesaw State, but able to pick up the win, 73-64, only a 9-point win for Gonzaga yesterday. And then Houston, they throttled Idaho, no surprise there. And the 2 versus 15 matchup in the opening round, 78-47. And this matchup here, Santa Clara, Kentucky, the first game today that we have on the slate out of 16 total games taking place in the tournament on this Friday. What's good, George in the stream? Antron liking Santa Clara, George liking Kentucky for this one. Bryce, welcome back in. Thanks for joining in, man, for this stream here today. Kentucky comes in ranked at number 28 in both KenPom and the net. They have some really solid wins for them this season. Best win came against St. John's on neutral court by 12. They also have wins over Vandy by 14. That was a late game, late stretch season matchup on February 28th. The win over Arkansas. They swept Tennessee twice in the regular season slate. So that's the top wins that they have so far this season for Kentucky. On the other side, Santa Clara hanging on to 2 victories over St. Mary's, including the conference semifinal matchup and the WCC tournament. Those are the best wins that they've had so far this season. They got swept 3 times against Gonzaga, including the conference tournament championship game. But they do have 2 Power 5 wins coming against Xavier by 19 and Minnesota by 11. So able to get into the bracket. Well-deserved, in my opinion, for Santa Clara for them this season, because they were right there with St. Louis. They have a 1-point loss in non-conference action against St. Louis, which look what St. Louis did yesterday. They destroyed Georgia in their first-round matchup. So Santa Clara hanging with a solid team there with St. Louis, only lost by 1 against a fast-tempo squad, and this is a pretty fast-tempo squad itself for Santa Clara. Number 80 in the nation in adjusted tempo, and they put up a ton of points. They average 83 points per game, 38th in the country. They're a top 42-point shooting team. They're top 30 in 3-point makes and 3-point attempts. This team lives by the 3-point shot for Santa Clara. If they do miss, they're also ranked inside the top 30 in offensive rebounds. But the struggle for them, I think what it could come down to this matchup is the interior. They do struggle with their interior defense. Also, they rank around the 300s in defensive rebounds. So if Kentucky comes out, if Kentucky's able to control the glass, that's key there. They do have a 7-foot center for Big Blue, Malachi Moreno, the freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky. And Atiga Owe, he leads the team in scoring this season, put it up 18 points per game. It's been just a seesaw this year for Kentucky. Up and down, limping into the tournament, just 4-6 in their previous 10. Players in and out of the lineup for them. This should be quite the matchup today. For Kentucky, they're going to want to see if they can put Santa Clara into foul trouble. Issue is that Santa Clara, they go 8 guys averaging 6 points or greater for them. So they got some depth on their roster for Santa Clara. Kentucky's got some pretty good depth as well. It's just guys have been in and out of the lineup throughout the season. They've rolled out with multiple starting lineups throughout the year. Yeah, Michigan, St. Louis, that's going to be quite the game there. Yeah, that's going to be a shootout. St. Louis, they looked fresh. They were just sprinting down the floor. Thino, welcome to the stream. Liking Santa Clara for the upset. Champ Ross, welcome in. Got under 161. Best of luck there. Billy liking Big Blue by double digits today. Best of luck out there for Billy in this one. Right now, Kentucky leads the poll, 77% for Kentucky. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Going to tip off in around 6 minutes from now. Kentucky on the spread, a 3.5-point favorite. Akron taking on Texas Tech. That's the second game today, tipping off around 12:40 Eastern time. That should be an interesting matchup. Texas Tech without their star player, top scorer, top rebounder, JT Toppin, ranked inside the top 10 in points and rebounds per game this season. So significant loss, but even without Toppin, down the stretch, Texas Tech had some key wins without him. And then Arizona, number 1 seed, taking on LIU at 135. And then this 4-game block rounds out with Virginia, the 3 seed, taking on Wright State at 150. So those are the 4 games going on in the early afternoon window Yeah, Kentucky needs to attack inside against Santa Clara. Santa Clara's paint defense is around like the 250s in the country, so they have struggled with their interior defense for them. Yeah, this should be an interesting matchup here because like Kentucky's been all over the map for them this season. Like they have some solid wins. Like they've been able to win games in shootouts. They beat Vandy 91-77. Been able to win more so defensive style games. They beat St. John's by 12. Swept Tennessee. Santa Clara proved that they could run with St. Louis and lost by just one. They just were able to get Gonzaga. They went 0-3 against Gonzaga. They did handle St. Mary's twice. They went 2-1 against St. Mary's. And then 2 Power 5 wins against teams not in the bracket, or 2 major conference wins against teams not in the bracket, which had bad seasons. Xavier, they throttled Xavier by 19 and then Minnesota by 11. So this should be a good game. Yeah, this should be a really good game. It's one of these things, I mean, you got to come out, pick up the win based on, look at the resources that your program has. Like, what North Carolina did yesterday, that was horrific. Just terrible with Hubert Davis. They blew a 19-point lead against VCU. Like, your program's racking in millions of dollars through the athletic program with all the NIL deals and all the recruiting funds that you have. Like, your team's on millions and billions of dollars for an athletic program at North Carolina, and you're able to pay everybody big bucks. You're able to hire Bill Belichick as the head coach for your football team. You're able to pay big bucks for a massive coaching staff, whereas smaller mid-major schools, they probably have like 4 or 5 assistant coaches on their coaching staff, where other teams, Power 5s, you have 15, 20 different coaches and then all these assistants and stuff down the line and all this help and all this revenue coming in. You're able to pay the broadcasters at a Power 5 school $500 to $1,000 a game, whereas a mid-major conference school pays only $50 or $75 or $100 per game. So it's a shame what happened yesterday with UNC. You look at all the expenses, all the training facilities, all the equipment, millions and billions of dollars in the program, and you lose to VCU. Choked on a 19-point lead. Yeah, there was debate this morning about that. Like, even though they were missing Kayla Wilson, their top scorer, still, you have all the advantages. You make millions of dollars. You bring in the top recruits. You're a blue blood program where Michael Jordan went to. So you should be able to attract like the top talent to go to UNC. And you couldn't pull out the win, up by 19 points in the second half. And that's what makes March Madness so special, is because you have upsets all over the place. Put in 18, 19, 20-year-olds into a neutral court site. Everybody has a clean slate. Throw everybody into a ring where everybody has a new sign of life. Nobody's at an advantage. Look at Duke yesterday. They were down by 11 at halftime. Nobody has the advantage. And when you have the advantage, like Greg guarded Wisconsin going into the tournament, and they're ahead of High Point and they lose that game. Seems like Wisconsin, like, they're always the team that does better when they're like the dogs, but when they're at the advantage, like when they're out in front, that's when they like falter for them. Kentucky comes in 3.5-point favorites on the line for this matchup. And we'll see what happens today. Santa Clara, big time underdog in terms of their school in the bracket, going up against the big boys in Power 5, blue blood Kentucky in this matchup, but the spread not too much. Kentucky 3.5-point favorites on the line for this game today. Tega Owe leading his team this season, putting up 18 points per game. This should be a battle. This Santa Clara team has proved that they can hang in with some really good caliber teams for them this year. St. Louis, what they did yesterday, blew out the doors of Georgia. A-10 team beat an SEC team. Wow, that could set the tone for what's going to happen in the tournament. Owe, Denzel Aberdeen, Colin Chandler, Malachi Moreno for Kentucky also. Andrea Yelovich, Brenton Napper, Christian Hammonds, Jake Ensimer, Elijah Mahi, Buki Obi for Oboye for Santa Clara. That's the starting five. Herb Sendek, first time in the tournament since 2014 with Arizona State for him as head coach for Santa Clara. Second year under Mark Pope for Kentucky. 45-25 overall, 2-3 in the tournament all time. But he is 2-1 at Kentucky, taking his team to the Sweet 16 last season. Kentucky controls the opening tip. Right to left on the floor for Kentucky. White jerseys, blue numbers, blue letters for the Wildcats. Santa Clara with the crimson jerseys, white numbers, white letters. Opening possession for Kentucky. Handoff to Owe. Owe at the wing of the perimeter. Dribbles up free throw circle. Slides it out to the wing. They take a deep range three off the back rim. No good. Missed by Chandler. Offensive rebound controlled by Yelovich. New 20 in the timer here for Kentucky. Inside the paint with Owe. Puts up the shot. Missed it short. Offensive rebound. Kentucky couldn't finish. Another offensive rebound and they score up and it off the glass. Malachi Moreno with that size advantage. 7-footer. Able to score the first bucket off the putback. First NCAA tournament appearance in 30 years for Santa Clara as they missed the jumper short. Long rebound controlled by Kentucky. And already Kentucky proving their way on the glass. 3 offensive rebounds off the opening possession. Deep range 3 off the rising fire. Swash! He has got tournament experience in his veins. Denzel Aberdeen to the national championship for Florida with the Gators last season. Delivers in the 3. Santa Clara down right now by 5. Looking for something on possession number 2. Ensinger. Hand off to a Napper. Napper at the top of the key. Defended 1-on-1. Takes the 3 over Yelovich. Missed off the back rim. No good. Offensive rebound and easy layup off the putback by Jake Ensimer. Yeah, Santa Clara got lucky right there. Kentucky just unable to box out. First 90 seconds into action. Kentucky with a possession. At the corner. Owe fires a 3. Buries it from downtown. Tega Owe. Big time shot from the perimeter. Kentucky. Second made 3. Far side of the floor for Santa Clara in the corner. Christian Hammond. At the left wing perimeter as he takes on one defender with Moreno. Hammond drives on Moreno. Puts up the shots. And they will not count it. Fouled before the shot attempt by Christian Hammond. So Moreno picks up the reach-in foul. Yeah, Moreno's size, that's going to fluster Santa Clara in this matchup. There are some bigger players in the WCC that play for teams like Gonzaga and St. Mary's, but 7-footer with Moreno going up against these smaller guards for Santa Clara. That could be tough. Napper attacking the paint down low and got the layup to go. Owe. At the corner, top of the key with Moreno. Handoff to Owe. Owe. Lob down low. Moreno. His pass broken up. Intercepted. Santa Clara looks to run up the floor. 3-on-2 with Elijah Mahi. Got taken away. Kentucky with a steal. Up the floor. Here goes Big Blue as Owe had it stripped loose out of bounds. Last off Santa Clara. We're just getting started today. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Santa Clara, number 6 in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage for them. So far, Kentucky off that opening possession, leading the offensive glass. Bounce pass goes to Moreno. Moreno backs his way to the low block. Spin cycle. Moreno off the double team, and he will draw the reach and foul. So Santa Clara, they gamble once again. That's their first. The Santa Clara team racks up a bunch of personal fouls for them. So what they've struggled upon this year, it's been defensive rebounds. They foul a ton, and also they struggle with interior defense. And Kentucky so far able to bury 2 threes. A jumper, deep 2, no good off the back rim by Aberdeen. Rebound goes to Santa Clara. Thanks for joining in. Max in the stream. Rob, thanks for joining in. Glad to have you guys in. Santa Clara, kick out to the corner, broke it up on a bounce, last off at Aberdeen. Active defensively. That's huge for Kentucky. They get a guy that has national championship game experience. Denzel Aberdeen, former Florida Gator, went to the title game last year. I mean, having that tournament experience to help your team, guide your team, that's just so critical in this type of environment. The Santa Clara team completely new to the tournament, first time in 30 years. First time on the floor for Alexander Guvalyov. On top with Elijah Mahi. Couple international guys on this Santa Clara roster. Mahi, jumper, deep two, off the back rim, bounces in. Friendly roll right there off the bounce. Yeah, that's a huge shot. Able to get a generous bounce off the rim. Away. Dangerous pass there, but able to get control by Yelovich. Kick out, corner, three, and out in the open. No good off the mark by Chandler. Really good look that he had on a three, just couldn't knock it down. Santa Clara with possession. Guvalyov out to the wing on a three, missed off the rim short by Allen Graves, a sophomore from Louisiana. Second chance off the rebound, they got it for two. Santa Clara, 4-zip run right back in this game, ties it up at 8. 4 minutes into action, both of these teams racking up offensive rebounds. Kentucky with 3, Santa Clara with 2. Santa Clara with the 2 most recent offensive boards. Chandler off the jump stop in the key. Shovel pass down low. Underneath Brandon Garrison. Into the hands to Yelovich. Yelovich bobbled it. Went wide off the dribble in the hands of his teammate who takes a 3. Skipped around the rim and out. Missed off the mark by Chandler. As he had to hoist up a prayer. Goes back to Santa Clara. Ensminger. Off to Hammond. He dribbles up to the elbow. Kentucky scoreless for almost 3 minutes. Christian Hammond slows down the possession for Santa Clara. Looking for their first lead today for the Broncos. Hammond rises from deep. Off the rim, short, no good. Missed in the 3. Rebound secured by Yelovich. And Kentucky will look to push it. Oway up the floor. Oway attacks the rack and puts it up, and credit for the bucket on the goaltender as he scores. 10-8 to Tiga Oway. Able to score the 2, first time out on the floor. So you got the driving layup to go. Yep, that's a goaltend violation charged to Santa Clara. It went off the back rim, then blocked off the glass by number 8, Elijah Mahi for Santa Clara. First time out on the floor, media break, 15-10 left to go in the opening half of action. Big layup there by Otiga Oway to go up by 2 for Big Blue. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Good tempo so far for both teams in this game. Both of these teams pushing the pace up the floor. Yeah, this is not chaotic like the first game yesterday. That was crazy chaotic yesterday. Louisville and South Florida in terms of turnovers. This one has been big-time offensive rebounds going on. Both teams even on the glass, 5-5. 3 of those offensive rebounds for Kentucky, 2 of those for Santa Clara for offensive rebounds. Kentucky with 2 early threes being a difference maker right now. 2 for 5 from the perimeter. Santa Clara yet to get the 3-point shot to drop. 0 for 3 from the outside. But still a long time left to go in this game. Santa Clara getting to the paint. 8 points scored in the paint so far. Hey, what's good? Avi, welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Power Up, welcome in, like in Santa Clara. Ice Baby, glad to have you back in. SGA Sports Talk, we got SGA Sports Talk and the membership. Let's get that member hype out on the stream for SGA Sports Talk. You the legend, brother. SGA Sports Talk, like in Santa Clara. Max, welcome in, he's taking Kentucky. And Terminator going for the chip for Kentucky. In my bracket here, I do have Kentucky in this matchup. I think it's going to be really good. Like, this is going to be a close game down to the wire. Yeah, some of my picks have been wrong so far because I based a lot of those picks based on last year where it was all the bigger schools advancing to the tournament. And, I mean, I based that off because you look at the NIL budget, you look at the athletics budget, and look at the millions and billions of dollars invested in the programs compared to the smaller schools, which they can only afford thousands compared to millions and billions. And some of those Division I schools at the mid-major level, like this decade, Hartford. They transitioned from D1 to D3. St. Francis, Pennsylvania, starting next year, will be D3 in their final year at D1. So the whole NIL era has crumbled the smaller schools. It's hurt the travel budget for a lot of the schools. And that's what happened with St. Francis, Pennsylvania, when Chicago State joined the NEC instead of the Horizon. St. Francis, PA, their travel got completely stretched because Northeast Conference, that means Northeast Conference. That does not mean a team from the Midwest. Chicago State, instead of joining the Horizon, they joined the NEC, which stretched out the conference because St. Francis, PA was taking bus trips to Stonehill, which is a newer team in the conference. So they were going as far as Easton, Mass for games and then stretched out west. So it's hurt a lot of teams, and a lot of teams have thought about dropping from D1 to D3, and that's where I thought there would be a big gap in this tournament between major conference teams and mid-majors, but it's been awesome so far. We're still having these upsets. High Point, St. Louis yesterday destroyed Georgia, and then VCU came back to beat North Carolina. So it's terrific that we're still having that, because I was really worried that we'd see another year like last year. Oway bobbled it at the baseline, got it back. Garrison around the perimeter towards his right. 5 in the shot clock for Kentucky as they rise out of 3 off the back of no good. Missed by Aberdeen. Tipped up to Santa Clara for the defensive rebound. Santa Clara with possession. Top of the key, number 15, Terry Darlin. First time on the floor. Santa Clara takes the jumper. It's a 3, and they bury it. First lead of the game for the Broncos. Garrison at the top. Backs his way. Edge of the free throw circle. Brandon Garrison slides it off to the corner. Into the hands to Aberdeen at the wing. On top here with Oway. So we're down to 14 minutes left to go. Opening half of action. 12 of the timer. Oway launches from deep on the follow-away. Missed off the mark. No good. And Kentucky settling on the 3 ball instead of attacking the paint. And they get called into over-the-back personal foul. Yeah, Kentucky just doing way too much right now on the floor. They are just settling for a lot of deep shots. And you got to read into the analytics. Santa Clara ranks 260th in the nation in 2-point interior defense. You got to read into that and start to attack the paint. They made their first 2 threes. After that, they bricked every single one after that. They're now 0 for 5 in their previous 5 attempts from 3. Missed shot at the baseline by Santa Clara. Rebound controlled by Mohamed Diabate for Kentucky. Diabate drives inside the paint. His pass deflected, and a reach and fall charged to Santa Clara though. Lucky there. That was going to be picked off up the floor. Yeah, what we've seen so far in this tournament, it seems like the players with NIL are getting more lazier. That they're just happy about the money, and when it comes time for the tournaments, they just don't put in the work. And we see all the smaller schools proving everybody wrong, that they came out of high school as 1-star, 2-star, 3-star recruits, and they're putting in the work with consistency instead of the transfer portal with inconsistency year to year. And these guys from the smaller schools putting in the work to prove everybody wrong. Santa Clara collects the steal. First lead of the game for Santa Clara, looking to add to it. Off the crossover, number 15, Terry Darlin takes it inside the key off to KJ Cochran. Back outside to Guvalagov. Guvalagov launches the 3 straight away off the back heel, no good. Long rebound, tracked down by Darlin, able to out-hustle Kentucky there on the offensive glass. Santa Clara, new shot clock, 3rd offensive board of the game as they attack down low. Shot got blocked up in the air, and Kentucky has the basketball. Big rejection down low by Brandon Garrison. Away. At the wing, bounce pass off the roll down. Garrison soars up through contact. Got it to go. And an and one coming up at the free throw line by Brandon Garrison. Strong drive there to the hoop by Garrison for the deuce plus the foul. And he had the block on the other side of the floor too. So here's a guy right now that's proving it. Brandon Garrison, Oklahoma State transfer, native of Oklahoma City, 6'11" big man, comes out with a big-time block, a top 40 ranked recruit in the class of 2023, and then he lays it up and in on the other side of the floor. Missed the free throw, though. Santa Clara off the rebound, looks to push. At the top of the key, A three bricked off the back room, no good by Aboye. Rebound secured by Kentucky with Diabate. Approaching the 12-minute mark left to go. 1 point game. If you're doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Attacking inside the paint. That's exactly what you have to do if you're Kentucky. And Brandon Garrison, they have found it right now in this game. He lays it up and in with a left-hand finish. 3-point lead for Big Blue. KJ Cochran at the corner. They work their way around the perimeter. Christian Hammond, edge of the March Madness logo. He takes on Chandler. Spin cycle inside the key. Hammond at the elbow. Hammond off the pivot. Slides it back outside. Etzminger. 5 the timer. Puts up the shot. Huge rejection by Garrison. Not going to count, though. According to the refs, it's going to be ruled a goaltend, though. So he blocked it off the backboard block. And they'll award the 2 to Santa Clara there. 1 point game. Once again, we go into the next media timeout with a goaltend violation. 1 point game, 14-13. Man, what a battle. Too close to call right now. Nobody is running away from this game. It's all about pounding the ball inside. What's good? Greg on the stream, welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Cubehead liking Big Blue to win this one. Bumble, welcome in. Big Teasy, welcome back in. Yeah, this Kentucky team went to the Sweet 16 last year. Santa Clara, first time in 30 years, playing their hearts out right now for Santa Clara. Yeah, Duke came unprepared. John Shire had his team unprepared. And you know, anything could happen. Like, anything could happen. It's all about preparation, and once those brackets get revealed, if you're a head coach, you're right on the phone looking at all the opponents, and whoever you get contacts with, you're right on the phone calling those coaches about how did you prepare for Duke. So that's what you're doing if you're a head coach. Yeah, coach of Siena, right on the phone, making a phone call to Texas Tech, calling Texas Tech about how do you beat Duke, and being able to have that as a contact right there, giving them intel about that matchup, and then calling other opponents as well. Like, how do you prepare for Duke? Right on the phone with Georgia Tech, calling about how do you prepare for Duke. Georgia Tech lost by 6 to Duke in the first game. That was the only time they faced each other this year. Florida State, that's another phone call. Conference tournament game, Florida State lost by 1. They were leading majority of that game against Duke. It's all about preparation. And you got multiple days to prep, from Sunday night all the way to Thursday or Friday, whatever your day is, for the first round matchup. To just throw the records out the window, because other teams will just come into practice, not even watch film, not even prep for anything, and think that they're handed the victory just being a 1 seed. Erase the seeds, erase the records, throw 19, 20-year-olds in the ring. Anything could happen on a neutral floor. And I've seen it with my very own eyes. We've seen it with our very own eyes. UMBC, Virginia. And then FDU, Purdue. We've seen it twice before with 16s take down 1s. Hey, what's good, Jason? Welcome back in, brother. We get back to action. Kentucky with the basketball. And I'll be back live later tonight. UCLA against UCF. Tomorrow, probably one stream. I got a triple header for volleyball, tri-match throughout the day. So probably a game around 7 or 8 tomorrow night, most likely, because I'm out 11 to 6 tomorrow. Layup is good down low. That's Garrison, who swoops around, scores the deuce. Looking good right now in this game for Brandon Garrison. 6 points, Carly. Perfect 3 for 3 inside the low post. Santa Clara with a possession. Napper on top. Step back 3 straight away. Off the back rim, no good. Missed by Hammonds. And loose ball foul charge to Kentucky. That's going to be on number 3, Cam Williams, sophomore out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Transfer from Tulane. Santa Clara at the baseline gets the inbound. Back outside around the perimeter, Ensinger. Into the hands to Brenton Napper, 6-foot guard out of Ontario, Canada. Napper lobs it off to Buki Oboye. Oboye lost it, out of bounds. It's a turnover. Went off his knee and out. Yeah, that's what cannot happen for Santa Clara if you want to pull off the upset today. You have to take care of the basketball. Great double team forced by Kentucky. They're able to speed up Buki Oboye into that turnover. And Kentucky looks to go fast up the floor. Aberdeen on top into the hands to Garrison. Garrison, handoff. Chandler spots up for an open 3. Off the mark, no good. A really good look in a 3, just couldn't knock it down. That's the second time that he's had an uncontested look. And once Kentucky gets more of those looks, eventually they should be able to start to hit those, but the 3's just not falling. 2 for 8 from the perimeter. They've missed 6 straight 3s after starting off a perfect 2 for 2. A lot of dribbling going on for Santa Clara. They're stuck in the corner. Napper towards his left, bumped into and fouled. Reach and call charge to Kentucky. Yeah, they're lucky that that possession did not result in a turnover, because that's where it was heading on that possession right there for Santa Clara. Yeah, Santa Clara started to get sped up off the dribble a lot for them last couple possessions. Ethan, welcome in, liking Kentucky here. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win, Kentucky or Santa Clara. Off the inbound, Santa Clara with a 3. They drill it. 16 all. That was number 8, Elijah Mahi, able to let it rain from the perimeter. Aberdeen slides it off to Chandler. Chandler dribbles inside the key, out to the corner. Muhammad Diabate working the 1-on-1, backs his way inside the low post. Diabate, a nice spin move right there, up and in off the glass for 2 by Diabate. Man, that was some excellent footwork by Muhammad right to the cup. Ensminger around the wing of the perimeter. He hands it off to Mahi. 6'7", big from Toronto, Canada. Cross court to Terry Darlin from the Central African Republic. As they work their way to the mid-block right now. Bounce pass underneath. Couldn't handle it properly was Ensinger. Had a circle around. Took a deep 2 baseline jumper. Bricked it. And a fight for this rebound as we have a tie up here. Possession arrow stays with the Broncos. Yeah, Miami, Ohio. That's a team with just full-out team chemistry. Spread the floor so well. Bunch of guys shoot the 3, lights out. And that's a key for the mid-majors, is that they get consistency like that. Like roster consistency with a bunch of seniors that's played together for 4 seasons. That's going to help out in a tournament setting compared to a team that completely revamps their roster every single year because of the transfer portal. Like all this money that gets poured into NIL and college basketball with all these big school programs, but the roster looks completely different every single year when new transfers coming in and coming out. Santa Clara looking for the tie in a 2 as they have it inside the low post. Bounce pass at the top of the key. Driving, attacking, kick out, 3 at the wing, out in the open. That is bricked by the 3 by Darlin. Offensive rebound by Santa Clara. Tie up, jump ball possession this time goes to Kentucky. So Kentucky wins that jump ball tie up. It'll go back to the Wildcats. Yeah, I heard that this morning. That's unfortunate. So sad with Chuck Norris passing. 8:40 left to go before halftime. Grinded out contest we have Carly here. Chandler off to his right to Owe. Ortega Owe dribbles, drives right down the lane inside with a left-hand finish. He scores up and in off the backboard. It's a 4-point lead for Big Blue. Big time burst of speed there off the dribble by Ortega Owe. 7 points now by Owe. Runner inside the key. Santa Clara kiss off the glass. It's good by Allen Graves for the deuce. Good response right back by the Broncos. Away. Cross court into the hands to Yelovich. In the corner goes to Aberdeen. On top with Malachi Moreno. Fires the pass off to Aberdeen. Cross court into the hands to Chandler. Rise and fire on a 3 off the back rim. No good. Tip to the perimeter. And the rebound controlled by Santa Clara. Broncos up the floor. Jake Ensinger as they will kick it out to the corner. That extra up fake allowed Kentucky to cover. Jumper for the tie. No good off the back rim. Missed inside by Elijah Mahi. The rebound back to Kentucky. Yeah, that's one right there. You have to take the corner 3. Elijah Mahi buried a 3 a couple minutes ago. Swarming defense by Santa Clara. And they will commit the shooting foul. 2 free throws coming up at the line by Malachi Moreno as he was swarmed by a triple team inside. Kentucky, 2-point lead. Too close to call throughout this entire game right now as we head to another timeout. 30 media break in the opening half. 7:26 left to go in the first. Yeah, Kentucky has been able to get a head full of steam to the rim. Both teams struggling from 3. Kentucky, though, has had the looks. Like Colin Chandler, he has had the looks from 3. He just cannot knock them down today. 0 points, 0 for 5 from the perimeter. This is anybody's game. Just seems like Kentucky has that extra burst off dribble drive penetration that they found the gaps in the Santa Clara defense once every few possessions off that dribble drive penetration. Colin Chandler, 42% 3-point shooter. So this is a tough start for him. If he starts to regather himself and knock down his threes, then they're going to pull away. Because there is much more size and length being on display for Kentucky's defense that has made the 3-point shooting for Santa Clara tough. Santa Clara just 2 for 10 from the perimeter. Kentucky 2 for 9, but difference in this game is that Kentucky, they've had those open looks. They just cannot make them. Whereas Santa Clara, a lot of tough shots that they're trying to put up right now to contend. Yeah, Santa Clara is shooting 9% lower than Kentucky. Kentucky 47% from the floor. Santa Clara 38%. Santa Clara +1 in the glass, 12-11. Yeah, they live on offensive rebounds for them. Atega Owe, he leads the way. 7 points so far for Owe, 3 for 5 from the floor. Brandon Garrison off the bench, perfect 3 for 3, 6 points for Garrison. Yeah, nobody's been able to defend Garrison inside for Santa Clara. That's been a tough matchup for them. And Malachi Moreno, 7-footer, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Santa Clara led by Elijah Mahi, 5 points. The team's leading scorer, Christian Hammond, he only has 3. So he's only 1 for 3 from the perimeter. So this is a tough matchup for him. He's a 6'4" guard. Brandon Napper is the 6-foot guard, and he's only got 2 points. So, yeah, those 2 starting guards having a tough time trying to score the basketball, combining to shoot just 2 for 6 so far. I've just seen a lot more size and length by Kentucky in this game. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ring the notification bell as well if you'd like to be notified here for future live streams on the channel. Alan Graves for Santa Clara is in deep foul trouble. So he's a player off the bench for Santa Clara, averages double figures, 11.6 points per game, and he is the team's leading rebounder. So yeah, I would lean towards Kentucky to win this game because Alan Graves, the top rebounder on Santa Clara, he has 3 personal fouls with 7:26 left to go in the first half. So he's gonna be on the bench for a long time, and this is where Kentucky can start to get in a run. Averages 6.5 boards per game for Alan Graves. 6'9" forward, a sophomore from Louisiana. Second free throw in and out. Missed off the mark by Kentucky, splitting the free throws by Moreno at the line. So this remaining 7:20 of action, this should belong to Kentucky's front court. Malachi Moreno, he should have a big key stepping up remaining part of this opening half of action. 3-point lead, Santa Clara with a possession. Edge of the March Madness logo for Christian Hammond. Hammond off the crossover, dribbles up inside. Lob, bobbled, and intercepted. Kentucky looks to run. Full court outlet pass up ahead. Leads to the two-handed flush by Denzel Aberdeen. Largest lead in the game by Big Blue. Santa Clara getting rushed with their possessions, having a tough time controlling the basketball. At the corner, Christian Hammond back outside to Guvalagov. And away from the basketball, Kentucky picks up a personal foul. Yeah, they were without Richie Saunders, who is a perimeter threat. That was a tough loss for BYU. Yeah, BYU didn't have any roster balance. It was basically A.J. DeBonsa playing with a bunch of other guys who could not chip in their weight. I'm looking forward to DeBonsa playing with a bunch of guys who know how to score the basketball. That's going to be fun once he gets into the NBA. Jumper, deep range three from 28 feet out, bricked off the mark by Santa Clara, and Santa Clara going full out desperation mode, having a tough time going up against Kentucky's length. Jumper, mid-range, off the mark, no good, missed by Diabate. Down by 5 for Santa Clara. With 6:10 left to go in the opening half of action. Off the dribble, Christian Hammond, and it's an illegal screen, a foul, charge to the Broncos. Turnover by Santa Clara. That's now their 6th personal foul in the first half. Santa Clara, bottom 20 in the country in fouls per game this season. Some of the struggling points for them have been they foul a ton, they struggle with interior defense and defensive rebounds. I like Kentucky. I picked Kentucky in my bracket to win. And Santa Clara's top rebounder has 3 fouls. Corner 3, open, Kentucky bricked off the mark. Offensive rebound controlled by Moreno. New shot clock at 20 for Kentucky. Moreno gave it away. Santa Clara up the floor, 3-on-2. Gotta capitalize right here. They launch a corner 3, and they bury it. That is good by Alexander Guvalagov from Bulgaria. Huge 3 to cut the deficit to 2. Kentucky shoots a 3 from the corner. Swoosh! Muhammad Diabate lets it rain from downtown. 5-point lead once again for Big Blue. Next foul by Santa Clara. Kentucky will be in a bonus. Kentucky 5 personal fouls this half. Santa Clara with 6. Santa Clara with possession. Gulagov dribbles up and drives inside a key dump off down low. Nice possession right there. Cutting backdoors. Buki Oboye, 7'1" big from Sugar Land, Texas, who scores the 2. 5 minutes left to go before halftime. Away. Out to the wing, into the hands to Aberdeen. Denzel Aberdeen knows what tournament-style games are like. He played 6 of those last year, en route to a national title for the Florida Gators. Away. Rises for the jumper. Deep 2. In and out, no good. A rebound secured by Hammond. Santa Clara down by 3, looking to push it up the floor. Hammond circles around low block as he takes on Chandler. Hammond floats up the shot, blocked by Chandler, and Kentucky with the basketball. Excellent defensive play right there by Colin Chandler. Unable to get the handles was Diabate. Chandler with a hustle, but Santa Clara hits the deck and they will burn the timeouts. 4:27 left to go. Timeout taken on the floor by Santa Clara as they recovered a steal up the court. Diabate went well wide and lost the dribble, and then Santa Clara hit the deck, recovered a ball. Colin Chandler tried to come in, force the tie-up, but Santa Clara, smart timeout, able to burn one there as they will maintain possession coming up after the timeout. 4:27 left to go in the first half. Chandler yet to drill a 3 so far, 0 for 5 from the floor, but man, liking the hustle that he's got. First block of the game just a moment ago in a steal. Otega Owe with 7, 6 by Brandon Garrison, Diabate with 5, Aberdeen with 5, Moreno with 3, plus 4 rebounds by Moreno. Nobody in foul trouble for Kentucky. 5 players with 1 personal foul each, where Santa Clara in some deep foul trouble currently, but hanging in the battle. Team's leading rebounder, Allen Graves, 3 personal fouls. 2 personal fouls by Buki Oboye for Santa Clara. So a couple of guys in some deep foul trouble right now. Texas Tech up against Akron, 9-5 right now for the top 5 team in the country in 3-point shooting percentage. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ring the notification bell as well. Wow, we got 500 plus people watching. Hit us up in the chat who you guys want to win this one. Type it in. Kentucky, UK, BBN, or Santa Clara, SC, Santa Clara, Santa Claus. Post in Santa emoji out in the chat if you guys like Santa Clara to win this one. A lot of people put in the chat mistaken Santa Clara for Santa Claus. I'll be back tonight covering UCF, UCLA around 7:30. So if you'd like to come on back for that one, feel free to do so. UCLA, UCF, another 7 versus 10 matchup. Yeah, that St. Louis team, holy smokes, they're going to do damage in the bracket. They look fresh. That St. Louis team is super fast. A team with a really good record, kind of similar to a fast type of team that FAU had that when they made their Final Four run 3 years ago. A team with a solid record that trailed the late stretch of the season. Santa Clara had an amazing record this year. Reason why they struggled going into the tournament is they play in a really difficult conference for travel. They're in the middle of America in St. Louis. They're playing in the A10. So they're constantly flying out to Rhode Island, Fordham, St. Bonaventure, LaSalle, George Washington. They're flying out to all East Coast teams. They'll get games in their region very few and far, like Loyola Chicago, who's a new conference member within the last couple of years in the A10. So they have a really difficult schedule in the A10, traveling constantly out to the East Coast. And man, props for them. What Josh Schertz has done this season at St. Louis, incredible. Yeah, they could be a major bracket buster for them. Based on how they played yesterday, wouldn't shock me if they take down Michigan. That team is a speed team for St. Louis, and they were spot on. Yeah, Josh Schertz, that's his first year there. He was the former Indiana State head coach. And St. Louis just signed him to an extension. So he just got an extension, I believe, this week or last week. So he's back at St. Louis next year. So St. Louis jumped right on that before anybody else in the tournament could do that, because he knew what the whole college knew what he's capable of doing. And look at what he did to Georgia. And once again, that's a second straight year in a row that Mike White has got bounced out in a blowout for Georgia. So that whole situation needs to be analyzed to see what happens there, as Mike White just fails in tournament settings as a head coach. Both free throws go down by Santa Clara. 1-point game, just above 4 minutes left to go in the opening half. Kentucky with possession, right to left on the floor for Big Blue. Denzel Aberdeen at the wing, dribbles up, drives inside the paint, push past the wing. Open three by Mohamed Diabate, bricked off the back rim, rebound secured by the Broncos. If you're Kentucky, just attack the paint, get to the rim. Guvalagov sends it off to Hammond. Hammond goes up. Hammond draws the foul. It's on Chandler. 2 free throws coming up in the line for Santa Clara. And this will take us to the media timeout as well. Santa Clara, a chance to take the lead, coming back from the timeout with 2 free throws. 26-25. Media break with 3:39 left to go before halftime. (15-12), Texas Tech leads Akron. Yeah, that would be insane. Honestly, it would not shock me at this rate if they get out of that region with Michigan. Michigan had some trouble in the first half with Howard yesterday. St. Louis plays in a region where they could take down all these opponents potentially. The only one that would be quite shaky would be Iowa State. But Iowa State does struggle with their free throws. So if Iowa State's having difficulty and St. Louis is just running up and down the floor, and they played like they did yesterday, then they could be a huge bracket buster, get to the Final Four. If somehow they get past Michigan, they get past Iowa State. Because if they do get past Michigan, they get a real good shot to make it to the Elite Eight, in my opinion. They're going to take on a banged-up Texas Tech team or potentially Akron if Akron pulls off the upset, or they're going to take on Alabama without their number 2 scorer, Aiden Holloway, suspended from the team, or they're going to take on Hofstra if Hofstra pulls off the upset. Honestly, wouldn't shock me if Hofstra does that. So that would be one heck of a game too. If somehow it's St. Louis and Alabama in the Sweet 16, first to 100 is going to win that game. Yeah, Kentucky just got to pack it inside. Like, what are they doing taking 12 threes in the first half? Pack the ball inside. 3 for 12 from 3. Santa Clara 3 for 12 from 3, but Santa Clara is a high-rate perimeter shooting team, so that was expected. That's their bread and butter, and right now they're crumbling by the 3. But for Kentucky, gotta get to the paint. 8 for 13 on 2s, but just 3 for 12 from 3. Kentucky shooting 61.5% from 2. Like, go right to the analytics. If I'm the athletics communications director of Kentucky right now at the site, at the scores table of the game, I'm printing out the sheet during this timeout of the statistics, circling the 2-point shot rate at 61.5%, and then putting a big arrow in red to the 3-point rate at 25%. And I am sending that paper right to Mark Pope, putting on words, pack the paint, attack the rim. That's what I would do if I was the athletics communications director at the site for men's basketball for Big Blue. 26-25, Santa Clara, 2 free throws at the line. First one is good. Second free throw missed off the mark. Rebound to Kentucky. 1 foul on 7 different players for Kentucky. That's much better than Santa Clara's foul situation. 3 personal fouls were their leading rebounder in this game, Alan Graves, and then 2 by Buki Aboye. And Kentucky commits the turnover. Yep, they commit the turnover. That's an offensive foul. That's their 8th by Kentucky. And Mark Pope right now talking to his team, trying to get them regathered on the floor. 3:20 left to go in the first. Kentucky now with 8 personal fouls. Santa Clara with just 6. Santa Clara dribbles up, circles inside the key. That's 4 straight personal fouls by Kentucky, by the way, as a team. They float up a runner, missed off the mark, tipped off the glass, rebound, secured by Chandler for Kentucky. Into the hands to Denzel Aberdeen. Towards his right. Sends it off to Chandler. He's 0 for 5 from 3. Aberdeen push pass out to the wing. Into the hands to Owe. Owe rises on a 3 and not even close. Rebound secured by Guvalagov. Santa Clara. Chance to take the lead this possession. Kentucky pressuring the basketball. Back to Guvalagov. Guvalagov rises on a 3. Skidded off the rim. Short. Rebound secured by Garrison. Brandon Garrison, perfect. 3 for 3 from the floor. You're going to pound the paint with him. Kentucky in a 3-minute scoring drought. Garrison at the top. Takes on one defender, top of the key. Looking to hand it off. Couple handoffs got denied. Aberdeen launches a 3. Oh, he drills it. Denzel Aberdeen lets it rain from downtown for Kentucky. 3-point lead for Big Blue. Big-time shot right there by a national champion, former Florida Gator Denzel Aberdeen. Santa Clara at the rim, soars up. Huge rejection by Brandon Garrison with a block as he denies Jake Ensimer. At the wing, Chandler, bounce pass into the hands to Garrison. Garrison looks to pack the paint. Jumper, mid-range, left it short. Got blocked up in the air. Basketball goes back to Santa Clara. Under 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Santa Clara with a possession. Off the crossover, they dribble up to the elbow. Brandon Napper takes it back outside to the perimeter. Launches the 3 over Garrison. Connects on it. It's a tie game, a 29-29. Brandon Garrison too late to close out. Brenton Napper off the step-back 3 for the 6-foot guard for Santa Clara. Top of the key, Garrison towards his right into the hands to Owe. Owe, one-on-one playing iso ball. Owe, oh, he lost the handle. Oh, he turns it over. Santa Clara gets the tie-up. Possession arrow, Broncos. That cannot happen. Millions of dollars on an NIL deal. Otega Owe loses the handle off a crossover against a mid-major. You cannot do that. in an NCAA tournament game. Santa Clara, chance to take the lead. Possession for the Broncos, minute 18 left to go before halftime. Gulagov on top, into the hands to Mahi. Elijah Mahi dribbles up, spin cycle inside the key, a jumper, deep two, left short off the rim, tipped around, battle for the rebound, offensive rebound back to Santa Clara, and a loose ball foul on the play though. As the refs blow the whistle, it's on Kentucky. Bonus free throws, 1-and-1 bonus coming up by Santa Clara at the free throw line. Lazy tournament for $1 million NIL players. Lazy. North Carolina, absolutely lazy. Wisconsin, lazy. Georgia, football team lazy. For the basketball team yesterday, absolutely lazy. Kentucky playing lazy. 9 fouls as a team. All for the money. All for this for the tournament. That's what college has been about. Smaller schools right now, they're proving it. Both of the free throws good. At the line with Jake Ensimer. 31-29, Santa Clara. 1 minute left to go with the lead. Kentucky with a possession. Bounce pass at the wing. Dangerous pass there. Enough on it by Aberdeen. Back to Aberdeen straight away. 3 in and out. Rebound controlled by the Broncos. Santa Clara sprinting up the floor with a possession. Elijah Mahi at the wing is an open man with Christian Hammond. Looking for their first tournament win in 30 years. Mahi outside over to Gulagov. 30 seconds left to go. 2-point advantage for the Broncos. At the top of the key, Elijah Mahi. 1-on-1 for Santa Clara. 5 of the shot clock. Maui dribbles up at the elbow. Got to shoot here. 3 at a timer. They will from the corner. Bricked off the back rim. No good. Rebound secured by Kentucky with Diamante. And Kentucky will slow it down right now with 10 seconds remaining before halftime. Final possession. Denzel Aberdeen at the wing of the perimeter. Aberdeen at the top of the key, dribbles up, drives, inside mid-key, had the ball ripped away, and he turns it over at the buzzer. Santa Clara with a steal, Santa Clara with a 2-point lead going into halftime. You got players on NIL deals making millions of bucks, struggling with the handles against a mid-major school. This is embarrassing. Millions of bucks showed up to the tournament just for the money, ain't for the run. Lazy right now in this opening half of action. The mid-major schools, they are playing hungry. Ouch. Man, dudes losing handles. What is going on right now with the SEC? Sheesh. Millions and billions of dollars. The top program in basketball athletics budget. The University of Kentucky. Santa Clara. Thousands in their athletics budget for Santa Clara. University of Kentucky, billions. Big difference between athletic facilities, recruiting, staff, assistant coaches, student coaches, big-time athletics budgets, tons of coaches and assistants on the staff, different voices, trainers, you name it. All these big buck schools, private chefs, you name it, with what they have. And down by 2 right now against mid-major academic college. Cohesiveness with everybody back on the roster, looking to make a run and pick up the first tournament win since Steve Nash in '96. This Kentucky team going into the tournament had a 14-point win against Vanderbilt. So they had been 4-6 in their previous 10 games, but they had beat Vandy by 14. And then they show up and play like this. Man, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. If you're new on the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ring the notification bell as well if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams on the channel. Texas Tech up against Akron 24-17. Man, I can't believe it. Got all this money in the world to pour into your athletics program, and it's playing like this right now. Man, Kentucky is settling for way too many threes. Gonna pound the paint. 4 for 15 from 3. More than half of their attempts have been three-point shots. 27% from 3 in the first half. They are 12 for 29 from the floor. And they are 8 for 14 from 2. They're 57% from 2. They only attempted one 2-point shot in the final 5 minutes. So they only attempted one 2-point shot in the final 5 minutes before half. Unbelievable. Like, that's where you gotta get to, is downhill to the rim. Santa Clara, only 35% shooting, and they're leading by 2. And their leading scorer only has 4 points going into half on 1 for 5 shooting. Elijah Mahi leading the way, 10 points. Only guy in double figures for Santa Clara. Nobody double figures for Kentucky. Leading the way is Denzel Albertine with 8. Otega Owe with 7. Owe struggling, just 3 for 8 from the floor. As a team, they have 7 turnovers. Santa Clara with just 4. Like, Kentucky's got the clear-cut advantage, points in the paint by 2. Just, it's mind-boggling right now that they haven't been able to get into the analytics and get to the rim. Santa Clara ranks in the 250s in the country in interior defense percentage, defending opponents, and they just haven't been able to get to the rim. Texas Tech up by 6, 26-20 over Akron. Texas Tech, an elite three-point shooting team, just buried one to go up by 9, 29-20. Yeah, Kentucky had a couple rough losses this decade. That was with Cal, though. St. Peter's and Oakland. I mean, things should look different when Mark Pope is head coach. Yeah, Rick Pitino ain't leaving NYC to go to UNC. He's staying in the biggest city in the U.S. Rick Pitino ain't leaving St. John's. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win here. Kentucky, Santa Clara. There's a bunch of adjustments that Kentucky needs to make. If they come out and do that, should be able to win this one. Props to Santa Clara, playing their hearts out for these mid-major guys right now. Because it's been a rough shooting game for them. They're only shooting 35% from the floor, but they're controlling the glass, picking up rebounds. That's been a key for them. this year's offensive rebounds, and they're not scared of the big boys. They've been scrappy, winning 50-50 balls. Like a lot of hustle plays, second chance opportunities, offensive rebounds going back to Santa Clara in this game. Santa Clara has out-rebounded Kentucky 5-2 in the previous 7 offensive rebound opportunities. Like Santa Clara's hustling on the glass, getting those chances. Yeah, it could be Vandy that makes like the deep run out of all the SEC teams. Arkansas has a tough matchup if they meet Arizona in that Sweet 16. Arkansas has looked really good recently for them. Florida to lose to Prairie View, 35.5 point favorite. I mean, what we're seeing in this tournament, anything's possible. Compared to last year, where it was the bigger schools ganging up on the smaller schools and no chance in those games. Somebody put out here about the Purdue-Queens matchup, that they have Queens in an upset. Queens scores a ton of points for them. Purdue is one of the top offenses in offensive efficiency this year. Yeah, nobody really wanted that final 1 seed. Like, UConn had so many chances at it, couldn't get it. Houston, they're at a 2 seed. But they were the top 2 seed in the bracket for them. So also very close to being a 1 if they had beat Arizona in the conference tournament. They would have got it for Houston, most likely. UConn got smashed against St. John's, lost by 20. UConn's having a tough time lately for them. Texas Tech up by 6, 29-23 over Akron. LIU, Arizona, that tips off in around 20 minutes. Yeah, Vandy was down early against McNeese, but Vandy got dialed into their style and started to pull away. And now it seems like they've got used to the tournament style for Vandy and playing well together, what they did in the second half. So they look like a dangerous team in the bracket. Probably going to be Vandy against Illinois in the Sweet 16. That should be a good matchup. Or, that would be an Elite 8, actually. Yeah, Vandy, Florida, unless Florida somehow gets taken out. Yeah, Vandy, Florida, that would be the Sweet 16 unless Florida gets taken out. Clemson, Iowa to 8-9. Prairie View's to 16. Nebraska is the team that will try to play spoiler into Vandy. Hey, what's good, Michael? Welcome in. No problem. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, feel free to hit us up in the chat. Who you guys like to win this one? Kentucky, Santa Clara. Yeah, Houston is just so tough, so physical that the game was like 12-12 yesterday between Houston and Idaho, and Houston went on a monster run. Next thing you know, it's something like 29-14. They just have this massive run that they have that completely locks down their opponents for multiple minutes of scoring droughts, and they go on a huge run themselves. And all of a sudden, with a tie game, they'll go up by 15, up by 20 points in a couple minutes. Texas Tech 31-25 up against Akron. Yeah, Texas Tech pretty good right now. They lost to JT Toppin, but Big 12 faring fairly well so far in the tournament. TCU picked off Ohio State. BYU, that was a tough loss against Texas, but can't really win a game when you had one guy, AJ DeBonsa, carrying the team. Texas Tech out to a great start. It's a 10-point lead right now for Texas Tech, 35-25. Houston throttled Idaho. Yeah, big ups to these smaller schools. Like, I'm glad that we have a tournament like this again, because last year it was basically all chalk. It was only, I think, McNeese State. I think that was the only smaller school that picked up an upset, was McNeese State over Clemson, which is not really that big of an upset because the ACC has been mid for most of this decade. But that was a huge shock last year because Clemson had a bunch of seniors. They went on an Elite Eight run the year before, and then all their seniors went out and lost in the first round. Got stunned against McNeese. Santa Clara's in California. Yeah, West Coast Conference, West Coast basketball. If you're a Santa Clara fan out here and also root for UCLA for a bigger school, like UCLA for a big blood, feel free to join back in later tonight. I'll be back live, UCLA against UCF later tonight. I've got UCLA in that game. UCLA has been playing some really good basketball lately. Mick Cronin hasn't lost a tournament game in the first round ever at UCLA. They went in that Final Four run as the 11 play-in team back in 21. So, I like UCLA today in that one. UCF's been struggling down the stretch, too. They're limping into the tournament. Barely got here. They won in overtime by 1 against Cincinnati. If UCF didn't win that game, they probably wouldn't have made it in. Yeah, right now we're at halftime, currently Mad Jacks. So I cover play-by-play. Right now we're just at halftime. Texas Tech looking good. They lead Akron 37-25. Texas Tech's one of the best perimeter shooting teams in the country. Yeah, 6 for 9 from 3. Texas Tech up on the glass, 18-10. Wow, that's great for them. Missing JT Toppin, everybody's chipping in, collecting rebounds. Yeah, the Big 12 this year is just another big brand of basketball. I've got the same thing, Terminator. I've got UCLA upsetting UConn. Yeah, UConn hasn't played that well last few weeks. Had a bad loss to Marquette in the final game of the regular season. And then they had quite a bit of trouble with Georgetown in the conference tournament. Got past Georgetown and then got smashed by St. John's. Mick Cronin, like in March, he always gets the best of his team. And they go with like a 4-guard lineup for UCLA. I heard that everybody's healthy for the tournament. And their point guard, Donovan Dent, it's like top 5 in the country in assists. He's playing with confidence right now. They have some of the best wins in the nation last couple of weeks. They took down Illinois, Purdue, and then Michigan State within the last month. It's just that UCLA team is a little bit undersized. So they're going to have a tough time on the glass against UConn, but they're an efficient shooting group for them. UConn's had like a high turnover rate recently. UCLA controls the basketball. Yeah, UCLA is like a slow tempo team. All about ball control, all about efficiency, all about shot making. If UConn comes out, they turn over the basketball a bunch, they're going to be in trouble. Yeah, UConn should have the advantage on the glass, but got to take care of the ball. That actually starts for them today. They take on Furman. They got to get past Furman first. (37-25). Texas Tech leads Akron by 12. Now they lead by 10. Akron drills a 2. Around 3:20 left to go before halftime in that game. Wright State against Virginia. That's at 1:50. Arizona taking on LIU. That's at 1:35. Hey, there we go. Queens NC for Michael. Yeah, that would be a huge upset against Purdue. I feel like it's happened a couple of times in this decade. A conference tournament champion from the Big Ten's got taken down like early on in the tournament. They're at a disadvantage. So after they win the conference tournament, like Purdue, they won the Big Ten. They're at the biggest disadvantage. They have the latest game out of all conference tournament teams, besides the American winner, which the American goes on at the same time. But for Power Fives, the Big Ten tournament teams in the championship, they basically are in the locker room when the bracket gets revealed. And then they have to formulate a game plan after that. And they're trying to recover because they just came off a marathon of a tournament trying to get back in for March Madness. Yeah, Queens' first time in the tournament. Congrats out to Queens. And it's their last year as an institution. So I wonder what's going to happen next year for Queens. So I heard that they're supposed to transition over to Elon. So Queens will merge to Elon starting at the 26-27 academic year. So I wonder if Queens is going to keep their program for athletics or if they'll just merge entirely with Elon. (31-29). Santa Clara 2-point lead as we have closed out at halftime. Kentucky shooting 57% from 2, but dreadful from 3 at just 4 for 15 from 3. They've attempted 29 shot attempts. 14 of those have been 2s, 15 of those have been 3s. Having a lot of success inside the paint, not so much around the perimeter. Colin Chandler, 0 points, 43% perimeter shooter, 0 for 5 from downtown so far today. But yeah, Blue Bloods so far struggling in the tournament. Duke barely scraping past Siena. UNC choking on a 19-point lead, losing to VCU. And here is Kentucky trying to crawl their way back in as they will attack with a Tega Owe. Great opening possession, draws the shooting foul. 2 shots coming up at the free throw line here by Owe. That's a brilliant first possession. Coming back to action. Doing what exactly you needed to do. Dribble drive penetration for Kentucky. That's where it starts. Getting to the rim, playing downhill, and half 2. First free throw good by Owe. Owe with 8 points. Hit us up in the chat who you guys got to win, Kentucky or Santa Clara. Second free throw by Owe. That is good. Santa Clara, crimson jerseys, white numbers, white letters, right to left on the floor. Some full court pressure defense displayed by Kentucky. Santa Clara able to cross the timeline. Top of the key with Jake Ensimer. Slides it off to the wing Napper. Into the hands to Christian Hammond. Hammond turns the corner, dribbles up to the elbow. He is clamped, working on Owe. Bounce pass, 10 on the timer, off to Ensimer. In the corner with Elijah Mahi, leads the way, 10 points for him in double figures. Mahi backs his way, showing patience. Turnaround jumper, baseline for the lead. He's got it. 12 points right now for Elijah Mahi. Denzel Aberdeen, cross court into the hands to Andrea Yelovich. At the corner with Owe. Lob deflected. Intercepted by Santa Clara with a steal. And a loose ball foul charged to Kentucky out in transition. Bad decision making by Owe. Going in for a lob. Just not enough power on that lob as Santa Clara completely disrupted it with active hands, forcing the turnover. That's now turnover number 2 of the game by Owe. Santa Clara off the dribble handoff. Christian Hammond lobs it up over the tub. And Santa Clara shuts the door with a 2-hand slam. Buki Aboye, 7-foot big from Sugar Land, Texas, with a major alley-oop jam. Largest lead of the game for Santa Clara. Kentucky with a possession. Aberdeen at the wing into the hands to Owe. Owe dribbles up, crossover, drives inside the paint. Owe goes up, gets fouled. 2 shots coming up at the free throw line by Otega Owe. First free throw goes down. If you're doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. What a battle. Second free throw by Owe, and that is good. Foul trouble looks like this. Santa Clara, 3 personal fouls by Allen Graves, 3 personal fouls by Buke Oboye, the guy who just threw down the alley-oop. 2-point lead for the Broncos. And they turn it over. Up the floor, Colin Chandler dunks it home with a 2-handed flush. It's tied up at 35 apiece. First basket leading to the slam dunk there off the steal by Chandler. And that's a confidence booster for Colin Chandler. Santa Clara having a tough time around the perimeter. They're ball pressured. Hammond floats it down low off the roll down. The big fella soars up to the rack once again and scores the 2. And it's Buki Aboye once again with a layup. Kentucky going to slow it down at the wing with Owe. Owe drives on the big of Santa Clara to the rim. No good off the glass. Offensive rebound controlled by Kentucky. They move it out to the top. Push pass. Aberdeen to the corner. Open 3. Otega Owe right down the chute. Delivers. Bang, a bang, a bang for Owe. 1-point lead for Big Blue. Otega Owe start a takeover in half number 2. Jumper straight away 3. Mahi left off the rim short. Battle for the rebound. Kentucky in the corner, able to track it down. They threw the pass off the back of the backboard. It's out of bounds. It's going to stay Santa Clara basketball. Poor decision making by Kentucky, trying to track down the rebound as they tossed it up at the backboard backwards, and it hit the back of the backboard out of bounds. Just pin it off the Santa Clara player in the corner. You don't need to toss it up towards the backboard. That's a dangerous pass. Inbound for Santa Clara. Down by 1 for the Broncos. Christian Hammond drives inside the key. Fall away. A ring around the rosy. Got it. And an and 1 coming up in the free throw line for Christian Hammond of Santa Clara. 1-point lead for SCU. Christian Hammond, 6'4" guard, a junior from Denver, Colorado. 16-point per game score. Big time fall away shot right there. Got it plus the foul. Free throw is good. 2-point lead for the Broncos. 3 minutes into the second half. 17 minutes left to go. Kentucky past midcourt. Denzel Aberdeen slides it off to Yelovich. Out to the corner. Chandler tees up a three. Colin Chandler connects on it. Able to let it rain from downtown. First triple of the game for Chandler. Santa Clara attacking the rack. No good. Missed the layup. Rebound secured by Kentucky with Moreno up the floor. Kick out wing. A three. Aberdeen. Oh, he drills it. Denzel Aberdeen lets it rain at the wing of the perimeter. 4-point lead for Big Blue. 44-40. Starting to make some shots right now for Kentucky. Santa Clara with possession. Kentucky perfect. 3 for 3. Started off half two from the perimeter. Hammond off the curl. Hammond, a lot of open space. Hammond swashes the runner. Christian Hammond willing his team right back into a 2-point ball game. Back and forth we go. What a start to begin this Friday. 16 minutes remain in the second half. Kentucky with possession. Oweh at the top of the key. Working one-on-one on Mahi. Oweh rising on a three off the back rim. No good. A rebound secured by Etzimer of Santa Clara. Santa Clara brings up the floor. Brennan Napper. One-on-one taking on one defender with Moreno around the perimeter. Napper slides on top, back into the hands of Napper. Lob goes to the baseline. Alan Graves playing with 3 personal fouls. Outside to the wing. Napper dribbles up. Napper, runner off the rim. No good off the mark. Rebound secure by Yelovich of Kentucky. 2-point lead for the Wildcats with possession. Oweh crossing the timeline. Here goes Oweh right to the rim. Head full of steam. And he got the layup. Otega Oweh slipping right past the cup of the defense. Scoring the deuce. 4-point lead once again for Kentucky. 7 points in the opening half, 9 in the first 5 minutes of the second half for Otega Oweh for 16 total. Inside the key, hook shot missed off the mark. Santa Clara offensive rebound back to the Broncos. They'll reset it. New 20 on the timer for Santa Clara. Christian Hammond at the top of the key. Defended one-on-one by Colin Chandler. Hammond dribbles up. Spin cycle inside. Hammond no good off the mark. Rebound secured by Kentucky. Kentucky start to ramp up their defense. Size and length at the rim right now for Big Blue. Oweh at the wing. Sends it on top to Yelovich. Yelovich towards his left off the dribble. Yelovich looking around, trying to find an open teammate. He does with Aberdeen. Aberdeen off to his teammate down low. Yelovich underneath, missed the layup. Rebound secured by Hammond. Should have got that one in from point-blank range. Unable to do so, just a tad strong off the glass. Santa Clara with the basketball. Top of the key, Alan Graves. Torses right off the dribble. Hand off to Christian Hammond. Hammond, 15 in the timer. Hammond at the wing. Takes on Moreno. One-on-one. Working on the big man. Entry pass lob. Goes to Graves. Backs his way. Low block. He takes on Aberdeen off a double team. Flings it out to the wing. They tee up a three. No good off the back rim. Missed by Mahi. A rebound secured by Yelovich. Possession for Kentucky. 4-point game. Quick three. Up the floor. Chandler missed off the mark. Santa Clara controls the defensive rebound. Both of these teams starting to look a little bit gassed right now, going constantly, as we are well past the 16-minute mark to the first media timeout. No whistle still. 13 and a half left to go in the second half. Santa Clara slipping right past the defense. They score. Up and in with a layup. Good for 2 by Jake Etzimer. 2-point game. If you're new on the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And finally, we will have a timeout taken on the floor. 13-21 left to go in regulation. Kentucky will burn a timeout as we were going constant. 6 minutes and 40 seconds plus of regulation around that mark of action. I've got 13-21. I think the clock was ticking a little bit further for CBS. They had 13-15, but either way, around that 13-15, 13-20 ball mark, time remaining in regulation in this game. What a battle. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Otega Oweh started takeover for Kentucky. Dribble drive penetration, 16 points. 2 made threes by Oweh. Denzel Aberdeen with 11. Everybody else with 6 points or fewer. Santa Clara led by Elijah Mahi. 12 points by Mahi. 9 points by Christian Hammond. Jake Ensenberg with 8. Kentucky at 45%, 40% by Santa Clara. Kentucky started drill threes. They come out perfect 3 for 3 in half 2 to start off in their first 3-point shot attempts. They're 7 for 20 from the perimeter. Santa Clara is 4 for 17 right now from 3. Rebounds almost even, 25-24 for Kentucky. And Kentucky's got 9 turnovers. That's allowed Santa Clara to hang in the game. Santa Clara with just 5 turnovers this entire game. They've been able to win some 50-50 balls too. Hey, what's good, Joanne? Thanks for joining in. Hope all is going well. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win here, Kentucky or Santa Clara. We got a bunch of people on, 700 plus. If you're new in the channel, smash the thumbs up. Helps out this video a ton being found on YouTube. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. And feel free to keep on coming back for future live streams. I'll be back on later tonight covering UCLA, UCF at 7:30. Texas Tech, 5-point lead at the half over Akron, 40-35. And Arizona just tipped off with LIU. Virginia will tip off in 15 minutes against Wright State. Not Toast, welcome in. I took Kentucky in my brackets. Santa Clara, a couple key players in foul trouble. 3 personal fouls by Allen Graves. 3 fouls committed by Buki Aboye. Kentucky with their big man, Malachi Moreno, a 7-footer. He has 3 personal fouls. And then 2 each for fouls by Aberdeen and Garrison. Incredible battle right now. It's been close all throughout the course of this afternoon. Largest lead, Kentucky by 6, Santa Clara by 4. It's been a 2-possession game at the most throughout this entire match. 13-15 left to go. Kentucky left to right on the floor with possession of the basketball. Aberdeen, bounce pass in the corner into the hands to Owe. Owe, baseline dribble off a double team. And he gets bumped into and fouled. Santa Clara picks up the personal. And it will take us to another media timeout. So Santa Clara reach and foul off the personal. Media timeout as we were under 16 minutes. Kentucky had previously burned the timeout, and now we go back to the media timeout. Hey, there we go. Best of luck to Joanne. Congrats on your move. Wow, this is... anything could happen. This game might need overtime based on how these teams are just so close to one another in this game. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Hey, there you go. GMAC, thanks for joining in, bud. Let's see, Santa Clara, how they've done in close games this year for them. They lost to St. Louis by 1, lost to Arizona State by 3. They beat North Texas by 3. They suffered a bad quad 4 loss. That was against Loyola Chicago, 80-78. It's been a mixed bag, wins and losses, close games for Santa Clara. Beat Washington State by 4. Yeah, that's basically it for close games. And then they did beat St. Mary's. Their last close game, they won by 5, the conference tournament semis against St. Mary's. So it's been a mixed bag. Wins here, losses there for Santa Clara in close games, 1 or 2 possession games this season. Kentucky lost by 3 against UNC. 5-point loss against Mizzou. in the early conference schedule. Beat LSU by 1, beat Tennessee by 2, beat Texas by 5, beat Tennessee by 3, lost to Auburn by 1, beat LSU by 5, beat Mizzou by 6. Both of those wins were in the conference tournament, so they had 2 close conference tournament wins and then lost to Florida by 8. So once again, mixed bag. Yeah, this is anybody's game. Santa Clara, they had a 8-point lead against Pacific in the conference tournament and then a 5-point lead over St. Mary's in the conference tournament. What's good, Mountain? Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you here for being a part of the stream. Wake and Bake, welcome in. Like an Owe to get 4 rebounds. Best of luck there. And Spider in the stream looking for 3 points out of Diabate today. Mr. Maven's on the channel. Looks like we got 1K. Let's get that 1K hype out on the chats. We get back to action. 2-point lead for Kentucky. 13 minutes left to go in regulation. Top of the free throw circle. Garrison goes up, drives the hoopity, soars up and throws it down with a right-handed flush. Brandon Garrison shooting right out of a cannon right there for a humongous slam dunk. 4-point lead for Kentucky. And it's an offensive foul charge to Santa Clara. Colin Chandler tried to come around the screen, got chopped up by a Bronco in the process. Santa Clara picks up the offensive foul. Brandon Garrison, incredible ball fake at the free throw circle. And then he drove head full of steam down the rim, posterized number 15, Thierry Darlin of Santa Clara at the rim with a humongous poster. That could be the changing point of today's game. Garrison has been excellent off the bench. 8 points, packing the paint, 4 for 5 from the floor. Kentucky with possession up by 4. Largest lead for them is 6. Denzel Aberdeen, lob inside the key, a kick out corner, away. Dribbles up inside, kick out to the corner again. Far side 3, Aberdeen, he's got it. Denzel Aberdeen connects in the triple. 7-point lead, largest one of the game for Big Blue. Santa Clara right now with a little bit of a rut currently. Down by 7. Approaching the 12-minute mark left to go for the Broncos. Guvalagov takes the 3. Swash! He has got it. That is a humongous 3 right there. From the perimeter by the sophomore from Bulgaria. Under 12 minutes left. Kentucky with possession. 4-point game. Denzel Aberdeen. Push pass out to the corner away. Lob goes to Garrison. Garrison held up. Garrison is fouled. And that's now personal foul number 5. It charged to Santa Clara this half. Kentucky with 2. So Kentucky with 2 fouls this half. Santa Clara now with 5. And we are under 12 minutes left to go, reaching another media break. 11:45 left to play in regulation. Kentucky bringing the energy. Brandon Garrison, big time, off the bench at the rim today. Garrison with huge production. 2 blocks, 3 rebounds, 8 points. 4 for 5 from the floor, 12 minutes of court time. Away. He's got 16 points, 5 assists. Denzel Aberdeen, 14 points. That is just so key in a tournament-style setting that Kentucky has a key transfer like Denzel Aberdeen, played in the national championship team last year for Florida. That's just so clutch. Arizona leads LIU 15-4. Yeah, your question out to me probably if I don't think anybody asked so far these streams. Who am I taking for a national champion? Well, I picked Arizona. Arizona just looks incredibly balanced for them this season. They have 7 guys averaging 9 points per game on their team or greater. Really balanced. I cannot show the game due to copyright. It's play-by-play only. Elijah Mahi with 12. He's the only double-digit scorer for Santa Clara. I got Arizona against Michigan on the right side, and then Duke on the left side against Houston. Yeah, based on yesterday, Michigan started off slow, and then they upped it against Howard. A couple of dangerous teams in there from Michigan, though. That St. Louis team is going to be dangerous. They could seriously bust brackets. Yeah, Duke, I cannot believe what I saw after Duke yesterday. That's a wake-up call for Duke, though. They had a wake-up call against Florida State, too, in their conference tournament. And then once they get to, like, the 10-minute mark in the second half, they just start to get on a run and pour it on. It was Buki Aboye of Santa Clara who picked up reach-and foul, which he's in some deep foul trouble. That's his fourth. So Santa Clara in some deep foul trouble. Buki Aboye with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 4 personal fouls, 3 personal fouls by Allen Grace. Everybody else with 1 or 0 for Santa Clara. Foul trouble for Kentucky, Malachi Moreno with 3, and then 2 fouls each by Aberdeen, Diabate, and Garrison. Kentucky looking to get the inbound underneath their hoop. Otega Owe puts up the shot, no good. Santa Clara came away with a ball, and Owe it's a loose ball foul charged to Kentucky. It's on to Owe. 4-point game. Santa Clara with possession. Broncos have it at the top. Mahi attacking the paint. Got it to go with a left-hand layup. 14 points by Elijah Mahi. Still a lot of game left to play here. Denzel Aberdeen on the floor alongside Garrison, Chandler, Owe, and Muhammad Diabate. Garrison, top of the free throw circle, slides it off to Chandler, 8 in the shot clock. Chandler at the wing, takes on Christian Hammond 1-on-1, has to launch forward the shot clock, passes off the roll down, underneath off the jump stop, high off the glass, got it to go, up and in, off the backboard by Muhammad Diabate. Man, that was a beautiful find right there. Colin Chandler with an assist. Muhammad Diabate up to 7 for Kentucky. Alexander Golagov sends it outside to the wing, off to Elijah Mahi. Leads all scores for Santa Clara with 14. Elijah Mahi, 6'7", wing from Toronto, Canada. Step back 3 straight away. Got it! Humongous 3 by Santa Clara. He's got 17 points right now for Elijah Mahi. 10:20 left to go. Back and forth we go. Chandler, skip pass, corner, Aberdeen, push pass, out to the wing, Owe. On top into the hands to Garrison. Garrison, off the ball fake, away from the basketball. Santa Clara picks up the personal foul. And that's now their 6th as a team in the second half. Kentucky with just 3. That's on number 2, Alexander Guvalagov. So Santa Clara, quite a bit of foul trouble right now. Next personal puts Kentucky in a 1-on-1 bonus. Handoff, Chandler, jumper, straight away. Missed the 3, no good. Off the rim, short. Rebound secured by Mahi. Elijah Mahi keeping his team right in it for the Broncos. 17 points for him. Crossover at the wing as he takes on Garrison 1-on-1. Switched, guarded by Diabate. Mahi backs his way on Diabate. 15 in the shot clock. Mahi, follow-away jumper for the lead. Left is short. Great defense there. Contesting the shots by Kentucky with Muhammad Diabate. Missed at the rim. Going up was Garrison. Offensive rebound, Diabate. At the corner, Kentucky will slow it down. Up by 1, 9.5 left to go. A dribble, drive, right down the lane inside. Away, missed the slam dunk off the front rim, and it kaboinks out of bounds. Damn. That is one you gotta finish. Otega Owe, head full of steam, going up with a right-hand hammer, and he bricked the slam dunk attempt off the rim. Santa Clara with possession, 9:15 left to go. Top of the key, Hammond. Out to the wing with Govalagov. Baseline dribble. Allen Graves, backdoor going in for the layup. Goes up, gets fouled by Garrison. He'll have 2 free throws. Santa Clara, a chance to take the lead at the charity stripe. Man, what a battle. Holy moly. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I cover play-by-play of basketball games, college hoops, NBA. You guys, the real legends out on the stream. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win, Kentucky or Santa Clara. First free throw good by Graves. We have a tie game. What happened to Georgia? They got smashed by St. Louis last night. Second free throw. That is good. Santa Clara, 1-point lead. Trail as many by 7. Buki Aboye, Allen Graves, each in foul trouble. Aboye, 4 personal fouls. Graves with 3. 2 players for Kentucky with 3 fouls. Moreno and also Garrison away. Down low. Scores. Up and in off the window. 1-point lead right back for Kentucky. Elijah Mahi, he's got 17 for Santa Clara. In the corner, into the hands to Christian Hammond. Back outside to Mahi. Mahi thought about pulling up for the 3. KJ Cochran, baseline dribble. Cochran at the low block. Sends it out to the elbow. Deep 2, jumper, got it. That is number 2, Alexander Govalagov, who buries the J. Lead goes back to Santa Clara. Govalagov has 10 right now for the Broncos. Away on top, Garrison, and Kentucky commits the personal foul, offensive foul, well away from the basketball. It's on Brandon Garrison. That's his 4th. Garrison shoving Allen Graves away from the play. Turnover, Kentucky. 8 points, 4 fouls. He has been key inside the low post in this game. And Kentucky again picks up another personal. It's on Owe reaching in. Owe now with 2 for fouls. Kentucky starting to rack up the fouls. Both teams in the bonus next time. 6 personal fouls each. Got a substitution here, number 3, Cam Williams. Sophomore from Lafayette, Louisiana. He checks in for Kentucky. What a battle. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Owe just substituted out, so Owe has the bench. Cam Williams now in. Inbound for Santa Clara. Govalagov, edge of the midcourt logo, dribbles up to the elbow. Govalagov, covered by Aberdeen, sends it back outside to Ensimer. Kentucky, okay, so this time they're going to break it up out of bounds. So broke it up out of bounds for Kentucky. Santa Clara reset, side in, inbound for the Broncos. 8 minutes left to go. Jumper straight away for a 3. Oh, they got it! Santa Clara lets it rain. Largest lead of the game. 59-55. Santa Clara 4-point lead. And a foul on the floor. Charge to Santa Clara quickly up the court. Kentucky going to shoot bonus free throws, 1-1 coming up after the timeout. Media break, though, under 8 minutes left to go. The Broncos looking for the upset. Alexander Govalagov buries the triple. The underdog from the WCC, Santa Clara, 7:47 left to play. They have built a 4-point lead, the largest one for the Broncos. What a game. Santa Clara finding a couple hot hands. Elijah Mahi, 17 points. And then Alexander Govalagov, 6-footer from Bulgaria. Drilling threes. It's now his 3rd made triple the game. They got 2 international guys. Leading scores from Canada. Number 2 scored that just buried the threes from Bulgaria. Kentucky in some deep foul trouble issues with key players. Front court having some issues. Brandon Garrison, 4 personal fouls. Malachi Moreno with 3 fouls. Aberdeen's got 2. Diabate with 2. And then Owe has 2 fouls. Yeah, it's tougher international. The defense is totally different internationally. Like the NBA players talk about that is when they play at the FIBA level, A lot of those NBA players say that the NBA, to score on in the NBA, it's actually much easier than FIBA because what they teach at the international level out in Europe, it's all about defense. Like, they emphasize defense well over offense at the international European level. 4 personal fouls by Buke Aboye of Santa Clara. 3 fouls by Alan Graves. Everybody else with 2, 1, or 0. Texas Tech up against Akron, 46-35. Arizona leads LIU, 24-12. Yeah, good question, Bryce. I'm not sure about that. Maybe maybe back in like the 50s or something with old school basketball. No NBA team has ever gone completely scoreless in a quarter during the modern shot clock era since 1954-55. Lowest scoring outputs in a single quarter were achieved by the Denver Nuggets in 2015 and the Miami Heat in 2016. Both teams scored 5 points in a single quarter. Bonus free throws by Kentucky in a 1-1. First one is good at the line for Mohamed Diabate. As we are down to 7:47 left to play. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You guys are real legends, MVPs out here at the channel. We got over 1K out here at the stream. Let's get that 1K hype out in the chat. Second free throw. That is good by Diabate. 2-point game. Santa Clara with possession right to left on the court. Kentucky 2% better than Santa Clara, 47% Kentucky, Santa Clara 45%. Broncos with possession as they drive, attack downhill, float up the shot, no good off the glass, missed by Hammond, tipped up, long rebound goes to Owe. Owe, chance to tie up the game with a 2. He has got it off the Euro step, scores, up and in off the backboard, plus the foul. Otega Owe, and 1 coming up in the free throw line for Big Blue. That long rebounds helped out big time for Owe to drive, get it up the floor to the teeth of the defense on a 1-on-2, got a Euro step, and was followed by number 44, Jake Ensimer to the cup, scored it in the and 1. Free throw is good. Lead goes back to Kentucky. Back and forth we go. 60-59. Santa Clara now down by 1. Guvalaga fires a bullet down low off a double team underneath. Huge rejection by Diabate. Diabate ramping up the defense right there, swatting it out of bounds. Alan Graves trying to get him on the up fake inside the low post, and Diabate perfectly played defensively. Inbound goes to Graves. Graves at the wing, sends it on top to Ensimer. Ensimer towards his right around the wing of the perimeter. As they dribble up to the elbow with Hammond outside, pop it up for a 3 straight away. They got it. Jake Ensimer from Ulm, Germany, buries the triple to take the lead for Santa Clara. 3 international players making a humongous impact in this game from Canada, Bulgaria, and then Germany for SCU. Top of the key. Mohamed Diabate dribbles up inside the key. Diabate powers his way down low, puts up the shot, no good off the glass, tipped around. Santa Clara controls the defensive rebound. As we approach 6.5 left to go, Broncos look to add to it. Christian Hammond, spin cycle, lost it, turnover. Kentucky collects. Yeah, unfortunately, I was much shorter than a lot of people out there. I could shoot the ball, though. Kentucky just buried the 3. Owe missed the bonus shot. Kentucky just buried it. Kentucky just buried the 3. Owe missed the bonus shot. Kentucky just buried it. In this game. 13 lead changes 8 ties. Santa Clara just scored a 2. My apologies. 13 lead changes 8 ties. Santa Clara just scored a 2. My apologies with a buffer. I lost internet connection for just a moment. Kentucky inside the key scores. Buffer. I lost internet connection for just a moment. Kentucky inside the key scores. Up and off the backboard. 65-64. Yeah, I had a buffer. Backboard. 65-64. Yeah, I had a buffer on my YouTube TV, so I had to switch it back to broadcast antenna, so sorry about that. It was like YouTube TV, so I had to switch it back to broadcast antenna, so sorry about that. It was like 30 seconds behind, so that's why I jumped from like 6:15 to 5:55. All of a sudden, behind, so that's why I jumped from like 6:15 to 5:55. All of a sudden, back and forth we go. Santa Clara underneath the hoop off a double team. They put it up, blocked from behind. Back and forth we go. Santa Clara underneath the hoop off a double team. They put it up, blocked from behind. Huge rejection right there for Kentucky with a block. Possession goes rejection right there for Kentucky with a block. Possession goes to Kentucky. That was Diabate right from behind, who came up with a big-time rejection. Tries to slip through the cup. Owe puts it up. Scoop, score, up and in. Off the backboard. It's good for 2 for Otega Owe. Otega Owe, big time in this game right now here. 3-point game, 23 by Owe. At the top, Santa Clara tries the 3, bricked off the back rim, no good. A rebound, secure by Diabate. Kentucky slows it down. 3-point lead for Kentucky. Jumper straight away. Away. Off the back rim, no good. A long rebound controlled out of the pack by Santa Clara. So we're down to 4 minutes left to play. Right now, Santa Clara at the top of the key. Into the hands to Elijah Mahi. Mahi, 1-on-1, takes on Garrison. Mahi dribbles up to the elbow. Mahi, spin cycle, off fake, off the pivot, puts up a tough shot, no good off the mark. Offense, a rebound. Santa Clara goes up to get fouled. 2 shots here coming up at the free throw line. If you can't hear me, refresh the stream. I lost internet connection for a brief moment, so that's why there's a buffer. So just refresh the stream for audio, and you should be good if you're able to refresh the stream. We're going to go to a timeout. Yeah, I got like a buffer on my TV for just a moment. Lost like internet connection for like 5 seconds. So that's why there was a buffer. Once that happened, for some reason, the stream audio goes mute, and then it goes back once you refresh. So all you have to do to get the audio back is just go to the URL search bar, just hit enter on that, refresh it. You should be good. Yeah, this game's not over just yet. And I'll double check on my audio over here to make sure it's fine, but should be fine. I know there were some issues with that a couple of weeks ago. I had lost internet briefly during the Celtics game and got it back, and people said that they had like a difficult time hearing, but they said that once they refreshed, it was fine. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Yeah, I dropped a couple frames in there. Yeah, seems fine. I took Kentucky in this matchup to win. I thought it was going to be a really close game, and it has certainly delivered so far today. 49% by Kentucky, 43% by Santa Clara from the floor. Santa Clara's done a pretty solid job taking care of the basketball. Just 7 turnovers this entire game, 10 turnovers by Kentucky. Santa Clara +1 on the glass, 31-30. Could be a difference maker in free throws. Kentucky has missed 3 free throws today, 8 for 11. Santa Clara, 8 for 9. But yeah, that missed free throw was actually huge for Kentucky. They kicked it out and buried the 3 out of it, the previous missed free throw, so that was huge. Otega Owe trying to lead his team to victory. 23 points by Owe. Denzel Aberdeen with 14, 11 by Muhammad Diabate. Diabate major in this game with 3 blocks. 2 blocks by Brandon Garrison, a block each by Chandler and Oweh. 7 blocks for Kentucky, 2 by Santa Clara. And then Elijah Mahi, 17 points for Santa Clara. Alexander Guvalagov, he's got 13, 11 by Jake Ensimer. Free throws coming up. 2 shots at the free throw line for Santa Clara. Alan Graves, a 73.6% free throw shooter at the charity stripe. Kentucky next time will be in the double bonus. Santa Clara has 9 for fouls. First one is good for Santa Clara by Graves. Texas Tech leads by 6 over Akron, 52-46. Arizona up against LIU, 30-18. Wright State leads Virginia, 16-13. Second free throw, right down the middle. Santa Clara pulls within 1 as Kentucky in their backcourt gets the inbounds. Aberdeen on the floor alongside Garrison, Oweh, Chandler, and Diabate. Denzel Aberdeen won 6 games in the tournament last year for the Florida Gators. Slides it off to the wing into the hands to Oweh. Oweh, 1-on-1, take it on Brenton Napper. Oweh rises for the jumper. Deep 2 off the back rim, no good. Tough shot selection, and the rebound goes to Santa Clara. Settling for a very far deep 2 jumper there. Bad decision for Otega Oweh. Santa Clara looking for the lead. Graves floats it up, rejected at the rim by Garrison. Huge block there, the 8th one as a team for Kentucky. Oweh up the floor, cross court into the hands to Chandler. Back outside Oweh. Looking for better shot selection for Otega Oweh with under 3 minutes left. Garrison, top of the key, towards his left off the dribble. Looking for a handoff, bounce pass, bad pass. Couldn't find a roller. Stopped rolling to the hoop was Colin Chandler. Results in turnover number 11 for Kentucky. Santa Clara, chance to take the lead. Hammond at the corner. Into the hands to Mahi. Fires a pass inside the key. Couple up fakes by Ensimer. Floats it back outside. Off to Guvalagov. Guvalagov at the wing. Entry pass lob finds Graves. Graves backs his way off the pivot. Graves underneath. Goes up. No good. Missed the first one. Second one. They're not going to count it. Or yes, they will count it. Santa Clara gets the 2. It's on the goaltend. So they will count the putback off a goaltend violation by Garrison on the initial shot attempt, according to the refs. So refs have it as a Kentucky goaltend, Santa Clara basket. Santa Clara up by 1. Kentucky with possession, 68-67. Kentucky pass midcourt with Aberdeen. Shot selection, last couple possessions been horrific for Kentucky. Trying to get back to their usual self. Top of the key, Oweh, dribble, drive, right down the lane inside, goes up, gets fouled. Double bonus for Otega Oweh. Santa Clara thought that they stripped Oweh and that he turned it over. Oh, that looked like it was all ball by Christian Hammond. Unfortunate for Santa Clara. Otega Oweh, he's going to have 2 shots here at the free throw line. Foul called on Santa Clara off a stripped ball, off dribble drive penetration, went off Oweh's knee out of bounds, but Christian Hammond, guilty party, gets called on the personal. Double bonus, 2 free throws for Kentucky. That is a humongous call. Humongous call right now in the game. First free throw. Oweh left it short. Yikes. It's going to come down to free throws. Kentucky 8 for 12 at the free throw line. Santa Clara 10 for 11. Second shot, got it. We're tied up. This is looking like we're going to go into overtime. 2 minutes left to play. 5 for 5 this half by Santa Clara at the line. Kentucky 8 for 10. Santa Clara with the ball. Right to left on the floor. 9 ties. 15 lead changes. Christian Hammond at the wing. looking for their first NCAA tournament victory since Steve Nash 30 years ago for the Broncos. On the top, Ensimer to the corner, rising for a three, no good over the cylinder, second chance opportunity, they got it, off the turnaround at the baseline for Santa Clara. 2-point lead for the Broncos. Right place, right time, Alan Graves pumping up the crowd right now for Santa Clara, representing the WCC, a 2-point lead in St. Louis. 1:25 left to go. What a game. If you're new on the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. An air ball three by Santa Clara from the corner, leading to an offensive rebound, turnaround putback at the baseline by Alan Graves off a fall away. Insane a shot that he just buried. Hit us up on the stream who you guys like to win, Santa Clara or Kentucky. Back to action. 70-68, Kentucky with the basketball. Kentucky with the basketball. Bad time for the stream to break up and drop frames. At the wing, dribbles up, inside the key, outside to the top, rise, fire, on a 3 away, skipped around the rim and out, rebound secured by Santa Clara. Alan Graves controls the defensive rebound. Final minute left to go. Santa Clara slows it down. Kentucky just 1 point in the previous 4 minutes. Santa Clara going to get the basketball back here off the inbound. 39 seconds left to go. My apologies for the buffers. Having some issues here with internet connectivity last couple minutes. My apologies with the buffer. Inbound goes to the corner. Santa Clara basketball with 36 seconds left. Santa Clara at the baseline. As they dribble up inside the key. Alan Graves, off fake Graves, underneath, goes up, puts it up, no good, tipped around. Battle for the rebound. We get a scramble for this basketball here, and out of the pack. Kentucky came away with it. Was there a foul or not? That's going to be the question. Kentucky got it, and they called a timeout. Kentucky had a timeout to burn currently. 70-68. My apologies about the stream. Yeah, it is glitching on my end. I'm dropping frames like crazy for some reason. I think it's like connectivity right now. 70-68. Santa Clara, 2-point lead. Kentucky basketball as we are on a timeout here currently. Timeout taken by Kentucky. They're out of timeouts. Santa Clara still with 3 timeouts left. Yeah, I wonder if it's like a YouTube issue with so many people on, because it never does this where it's that bad. I had to drop bitrate or so. 25 seconds left to go. Kentucky has the ball, down by 2, 70-68. Kentucky with the possession. My apologies about the stream lag dropping or so. Oway at the top of the key, into the hands to Chandler. Colin Chandler, 14 seconds remaining. Cross court, connects with Oway. Spin cycle inside the key. Got it to go. Up and in off the backboard. We're tied up at 70. Santa Clara, they have 3 timeouts. Not going to burn one. Santa Clara at the wing. Graves launches a 3. Oh, he drills it. Alan Graves. Bang, 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 bang. Drills it. Kentucky at the buzzer. Oh, they got it. Open up the bank right there. We're going into overtime. Triple onions for Otega Oway, Cash Bank City. Jalen Suggs in the bubble-like fashion right there. Past midcourt, bang, bang. Cash off the glass, in at the buzzer, overtime. Otega Oway. Going into overtime, Otega Oway. Going into overtime, Otega Oway, big time 3. Big time 3. Unbelievable. My apologies again for the choppiness of this stream right now. The internet has been weird on my end. I don't know if it's that or if it's YouTube or so, but this game is going into overtime, 73-73. That is reminiscent of Jalen Suggs. Man. What a game. If you guys are doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. This is going into overtime. Man, crazy. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Because it's like breaking up on my end for some reason. Which is always reliable with the internet. Like, I've streamed for 9 years. I've streamed since 2019, so 7 years. And it's always super reliable with the internet and everything going down. So I don't know what's going on out there right now. So my apologies if you guys do get buffers. If you do get a buffer and somehow don't see audio coming back in, or don't hear audio coming back in, make sure to just Kentucky with the basketball first. Otega Owe dribbles up inside the key, a jumper, mid-range, no good off the glass, out of bounds. Last off, Santa Clara. It's gonna stay. Kentucky basketball. Man, I might need to see if I can switch this to my phone's hotspot, and that means using data. In the air, got it a go. It is good for 2 by Otega Owe, able to attack the rack as Otega Owe hung up in the air and scored. Under 4 minutes left to play, Owe scores the opening 2 for Kentucky. Santa Clara with the basketball, skip pass, quarter, out to the wing, launching a 3. Mahi got it. Elijah Mahi lets it rain for the perimeter. What a game right now. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Owe walks up the floor into the hands to Chandler cross court. Chandler into the hands to Diabate. Diabate powers his way down low. Diabate kiss off the glass, scores. Up and off the backboard. Back and forth we go right now. 3:20 left to go in OT. Santa Clara with possession. Baseline dribble for the Broncos, circling their way underneath Guvalagov. And broke it up on the bounce. Went off of Chandler. It's going to stay Santa Clara possession. If you're new on the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Knock on wood, hopefully everything goes well throughout the remaining part of the stream. My apologies for a brief buffer here or there for some reason. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but it never usually does this. Dribble, drive, attack, the paint, no good by Santa Clara. Off the glass, offensive rebound. 3 for the lead, off the back rim, no good. Battle for the rebound, Kentucky's got it. With Garrison fouled in the backcourt. Double bonus for Kentucky at the free throw line. So Brandon Garrison fouled in the backcourt after he collected the rebounds. And it's on Guvalagov, number 2. So Guvalagov picks up the personal. Santa Clara foul trouble with Buki Aboye, 4 fouls. 3 by Graves, 3 by Guvalagov now. Only player in deep foul trouble for Kentucky's Garrison with 4. First free throw missed by Garrison. Yeah, looks like Kentucky's got the momentum. That's a tough free throw he missed, though. Second free throw off the back rim, no good. Santa Clara collects the defensive rebound. Going empty at the free throw line. Kentucky 10 for 16 on free throws. Santa Clara 10 for 11. Santa Clara 10 with a possession. Allen Graves off the double team handoff. Guvalagov launches the 3. Oh, he buries it. Alexander Guvalagov takes the lead for SC. 79-77 Santa Clara. 2.5 left to go. Kentucky with the basketball. Otega Owe at the top of the key. Moves it out to the wing into the hands to Aberdeen. Aberdeen switched, guarded by number 44 of Santa Clara with Jake Ensimer. Lob sent to the baseline. Muhammad Diabate. 8 on the timer, showing patience this possession. Backs his way off the pivot. Diabate underneath. Got it. Up and in off the glass. Good for 2. 79-79 shot making in the late stretch of this game, been absolutely incredible. Game trend, 12 ties, 19 lead changes. Largest lead, Kentucky by 7, Santa Clara by 4. Alexander Guvalagov giving one heck of a game for the Broncos. Same as number 8, Elijah Mahi. He bounced passes to his teammate at the mid-block, Alan Graves. Kick out to the wing. A 3 in the air. Mahi left off the rim. Short to rebound. Secured by Garrison. Kentucky with possession. Minute and a half left to go in action. Otega Owe. He slows it down. Into the hands to Aberdeen, edge of the mid-court logo. Denzel Aberdeen and OT, back to Owe. Owe at the top, dribbles up to the elbow. Owe. 5 of the timer, spin cycle. Owe goes up. Owe got fouled. 2 free throws coming up at the line. Minute 12 left to go for Otega Owe. 79-79 in overtime. 1:12 remaining. 2 free throws here at the line for Owe. Holy smokes, what a game. First free throw, got it. Otega Owe banked in the 3 at the buzzer to send it into overtime. Second free throw is good. (81-79). Minute 10 left to go. Santa Clara with a possession, down by 2. Guvalagov at the top of the key. Guvalagov off the crossover, jacks up the 3, blocked by Garrison. On the run, Owe up the floor. Garrison shuts the door with a 2-handed flush. Brandon Garrison, big time in the bright lights, coming off the bench for BBN. The block and the dunk. Brandon Garrison bringing the big time energy for Kentucky. 48.5 seconds remaining. Brandon Garrison blocks a step back 3-point shot attempt by Santa Clara, and then he sprints up the floor off the recovered ball by Owe. Full court outlet pass. Garrison behind the defense slams it through. What a game. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You guys are real Legends MVPs. And I will be live for UCLA against UCF later tonight. So feel free to join in for that one if you guys would like. Both teams with 1 challenge remaining. 3 timeouts left for Santa Clara. 1 for Kentucky. Santa Clara, though, 10-plus personal fouls in the second half. Kentucky with 7. Kentucky double bonus rest of the stretch. Ain't over just yet, but what a run by Santa Clara. I like UCLA tonight in that one. Quick scoreboard update. Other games going on. Texas Tech up by just 4 over Akron, 66-62. With another 8 minutes left to go there. It's all Arizona over LIU, 53-29. Inbound for Santa Clara. Alan Graves. Into the hands to Guvalagov. Alexander Guvalagov from Bulgaria towards his right, working on Garrison. Oh, again! Brandon Garrison with another rejection. Here they go, sprinting up the floor for Kentucky. Double clutch, missed the layup, got fouled. 2 free throws coming up at the line by Diabate. Brandon Garrison. Perfect defensive stop. Back-to-back possessions for Big Blue. Blocked the step-back 3 again by Guvalagov. 2 blocks in a row from the perimeter. En route to win this game if they can close it out for Kentucky. They have a 64% free throw shooter at the line. First one is good, though. Diabate drills the first free throw. 31.6 seconds left. 84-79, Kentucky by 5. Second free throw, right down the middle. Diabate buries them both. Santa Clara Gotta go. 8-zip run, minute 40 for Kentucky. Top of the key, a 3. Santa Clara air ball. They dribble back out to the perimeter. Too much time coming off the clock. Quarter 3, they got it though. Jake Ensenberg buries the triple. 18.9 seconds left to go. It's a 3-point game. 85-82, a timeout on the floor. Taken by the Broncos. They're down to 2 timeouts left. Man, what a battle. We go 1.7K out in the stream. Wow. You guys, the real legends out here in the stream. Holy moly. I'll be back live. UCLA against UCF later tonight. Yeah, my apologies at the end of the fourth quarter. My stream was really choppy for some reason. Luckily, it's not choppy at overtime. I think there was like an internet connectivity issue or either YouTube lag. Probably so many people are streaming on YouTube as well at this time. So that might be the issue as well. So I never usually get that. Like, I'll get like a dropped frame here or there like once every couple streams, but usually I'll never get drop frames consistently, and then it says internet connection failed for 5 seconds, and then it comes back on. That was really weird, so my apologies about that. End of the fourth quarter. Yeah, I was basically about to break out my hotspot or so and start to use data there to stream overtime if it kept up, but luckily, knock on wood, I haven't dropped a frame ever since in this overtime session. 19.2 seconds left to go. Kentucky will have the basketball. They're up by 3. Kentucky will have the basketball in their backcourt. Time to get it to the free throw shooters if you're Kentucky and get this game done. They've had some struggles at the free throw line. Inbound, Oway followed, 17 seconds left. And he will shoot 2 at the free throw line. Otega Oway, the star to show today. 33 points by Oway. He drilled the game-tying shot in regulation at the buzzer off a banked 3 from midcourt to force overtime. Reminiscent of Jalen Suggs and the game winner in the bubble back in 2021 in the win over UCLA. A banked 3. A little bit closer than Suggs' 3 just past midcourt, but just very reminiscent of that off the bank. First free throw is good by Oway. Second free throw, got the bounce. Very close to be left short, but it got the bounce in. 5-point lead, Kentucky. 15 seconds left. Santa Clara hoist up a 3. Left off the rim, short. Rebound collected by the Wildcats. Outlet pass for the exclamation point. And Aberdeen throws it down with authority. Big Blue able to outlast Santa Clara, and Kentucky will be advancing over to round 2. 89-82, a timeout taken with 2 seconds left. Two seconds left to go on the clock. Big time rebound by Diabate off the full court outlet behind the defense with was Denzel Aberdeen with a slam. Brandon Garrison checks out. Garrison, big time energy builder. Off the bench, he finished with 10 tonight. Beg my pardon, that was a quick follow charge to Kentucky. First free throw, good. So no timeout by Santa Clara. That was a follow charge to Kentucky with 2 seconds left. Yeah, that was weird why they followed there. Yeah, the game in hand. Second free throw is good. 89-84. Yeah, I don't understand why commit a follow. Santa Clara will let Kentucky get the inbound, and now this game is over. Congratulations to the Kentucky Wildcats advancing on to round 2 as they outlast Santa Clara in the overtime session. 89-84, the final score. What a game between both of these teams. Holy moly. Otega Oway. Game-tying 3 at the buzzer off a half-court bank to force overtime, and that was right before Santa Clara splashed in a 3 with 5 seconds left. Otega Owe, 35 points in 43 out of the 45 minutes of court time. He went 3 for 8 from the perimeter, but one of those threes, the biggest one ever of his collegiate career, to force overtime, as they're showing it on the replay on CBS right now. Banked in a 3 to force OT, and then the rest is history in the overtime session. Kentucky, 5-point win over Santa Clara, 89-84, the final in overtime. What a game. Winner of this matchup will take on the winner, Iowa State versus Tennessee State. I'll be back for UCLA versus UCF later tonight. If you'd like to come on back, feel free to do so. I'm probably only going to be live for one stream tomorrow. I have a triple header for volleyball and covering for men's volleyball for a college tomorrow throughout the afternoon, so I'm booked from 11 to 6 tomorrow. Can probably stream whatever game comes around the 8 o'clock time slots tomorrow night. But man, what a battle here in this one. Kentucky able to outlast Santa Clara. Kentucky was down at halftime by 2. And Otega Owe needed a 3. And for a team that had been struggling from the perimeter throughout most of the game, he got one, and a big one. Sent the game to OT. Rest is history in overtime. Thanks all for joining in for this one. I'll be back live, UCLA USF, later today. You guys, the real legends in the channel. We had over 1,000 people show up. I really appreciate you guys for being a part here on the stream. Feel free to join back in later today, UCLA, UCF, and we will close out to the channel members. All channel members get a shout out at the end of my live stream. We got Jason, John, Michael Bradley, Joe, Lonely Satellite, Warren the Nija player, Norma Kelly, Ogie, Russell, Rydog, Astros fan for life, all on the prowl. I am Ghost, Ian, Edith, SGA Sports Talk, and Elaine. Thanks for joining in today for this one. What a game. Overtime, Kentucky. Otega Owe drops down 35, leads his team to victory, forces OT with a buzzer beater on a half-court bank 3 to force OT, and then wins the game in overtime, 89-84 Kentucky. Thanks all for joining in, and enjoy the rest of your Friday.